right, and good evening and welcome to the CPTC live stream, week 7, if I'm not mistaken. We are here at the, in the words of Sean, the historic Exmoor Country Club, watching a Series 12 match this evening. And tonight, my name is Jason Love. We're sitting here in the booth with Ben McKnight and Andrew Ong. In a couple minutes, we're going to bring in Director of Racket Sports Mike Raleigh to get a little background on the Exmoor Country Club paddle program. But how's everybody doing tonight? We ready for a little paddle action?
Ready.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Ben and I were out there hitting before the match, and it was getting a little wet.
A little
cold
misty.
night tonight. Yeah.
We got a little precipitation coming down. It was spritzing, as I would say when we were driving it.
Heaters are on.
So it's nice having Ben and Andrew here for a little change of plans. Basically, Matt, Sean, and the new guy were so sick and tired of everybody doing it that they wanted to just say, hey, we're not doing this anymore. So we brought in some experts. Ben, you were just commenting that you said you think you did the first ever CPTC
I know,
live
I
stream.
did the first ever. Yes, the first CPTC live stream was the Medina tournament, and I was lucky enough to be part of it. And look where it's taken them since.
Who played?
We watched Dan Hirsch, and he beat
Ryan Baxter, yeah?
Who did he beat?
Two other
Who
guys.
played with Kaler, the yellow paddle of Chicago? He hit it 2 ways. Oh, Brian Compton.
It's not from Chicago. Oh,
Yeah.
Formerly Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, formerly.
Yeah, it was a good upset.
So
Go ahead.
No, they were
finish.
going to play. I just remember that Hirsch and Baxter were going to play together all year, and then they played me and Trevor, 2 weeks in a row, 3 hours in Pittsburgh, 3 hours in Detroit the next week, and Ryan Baxter hit an overhead into the side screen on the fly, and Hirsch threatened to walk off the court in that Detroit match. And they never played together again. So
Those are the kind of stories that you get on the CPTC live stream, not necessarily the APTA live streams.
exactly.
You know. But want to also mention our sponsors. Thank you to the CPTC, Illinois Boyne and Joint, Wintrust, and Viking for bringing the league and the streaming and all the sponsorship to us tonight. So anybody want to jump in? And I was late to the booth. I was driving from Barrington. Who do we got out there tonight from this Series 12 match? Exmoor versus Lakeshore Sport and Fitness, right?
Yes, so for Exmoor, we have Jordan Decker and Dave Barrett. Jordan's a 34 PTI and Dave's a 33, and they're playing against Lakeshore, Pat Sullivan and John Garber. Pat's a 32 PTI and John's a 38, so this is going to be a very good matchup. This is a 2-spread, which is basically a pick-a match. So
Who's serving right now in the gray sweatshirt?
that is John Garber.
Okay.
And that's the Exmoor team.
No, that's the Lakeshore team. Yep.
Lakeshore, sorry.
Mike Raleigh wouldn't teach him that overhead. In the middle of
Sean, we miss you already.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the blitz right away, getting into the action.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it is wet out there tonight, so it's going to have a little effect in the play, but the heaters have been running. You know, Director of Racket Sports Mike Raleigh always has this place in tip-top shape, as well as the club. So, again, it hopefully doesn't affect play too much, right, guys?
Yeah, I don't think so. You know, I wonder with it being wet, too. Like, this is one of the things, seeing that blitz and Ben just saying that is, like, when I'm playing a match at the beginning, I'm like, well, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either go really, really slow and steady and, like, work your way into it and the feel and just get, like, totally comfortable that way. Or you can do something like he just did, just blitz right away and really get into the fire and, like get comfortable that way. So.
And I know everyone recognizes the name, but formerly known as Man Bun, you know, on the live stream a lot of the time. We got Andrew Ong, who's huge player experience, right, and knowledge coming into the game. So what do you like? Do you like to come in aggressive?
I think it depends who I'm playing. Usually I feel like I know the guys I'm playing. Maybe, you know, this happens less so here, but I feel like personally I always kind of know who I'm playing or know something about them, and so it's like a game plan thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But against Ben, I would be slow and steady.
So they call that one long?
Yes.
Okay, so
No.
So was it break?
Yes.
Start with an early break, which in honor of Matt, McClure, we're going to say still a little warm weather paddle. It's deceivingly warm out there at like, what, 60-some degrees, 58, 59 degrees, something like that maybe. So you're going to get some more breaks of serve, right? Your returner's game nowadays.
Got John Decker to serve. Oh, there's the court getting in the way.
Good thing he was not closer to the screen, because I've seen some
He looked
guys
like he had
go-
a professional paddle fall where you go down and you roll. You roll with it. You don't get your hands down to cut yourself up too much.
He's been playing for a while.
He's been playing a little while.
That's good. Oh,
Yeah, I actually saw a tough fall today, out on the court, which is never good to see. We do a bunch of these learn to paddle clinics, and the first thing we say is, all joking aside, don't fall.
great shot.
Yeah,
Don't put your tongue
nice
on the screen.
two-handed backhand. I didn't expect that. And I followed up with a little pickleball angled shot to the corner. Jason, you could appreciate that one.
A little dink and dive.
Yeah.
Get in there.
I feel like he's taking lessons at Sunset, Peter.
Another great service return there.
No, you can see the heaters drying those courts, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Probably a big shout out to Tom Newcomb from Platform Tennis Heating Company, right? One of the best in the biz about getting underneath those courts and making
Really?
sure that, oh yeah, he's the man.
Where are they? Is that a Chicago?
Yeah, he got into the business, 10, 15 years ago, roughly, Mikey, but he services probably 75 to 80 of the 100-plus courts in the North Shore area, and like I said, he's the best. It's all about airflow, getting the air circulating underneath that court.
Another break of serve. No one can hold.
Just so everybody knows, Sean, Matt, and New Guy are here just in case we do drop the ball on this, but I think we got it all covered.
This is Pat Sullivan serving now.
Great volley, Pat Sullivan.
I know that you guys did some recon and some data on these teams. Where do we stand? What are these teams in the league right now?
Exmoor, I believe, is around third place after 6 matches, and I want to say Lakeshore seems to be right in the middle of the series.
So this is going to be a good match.
Yeah, and this is a pick'em PTI match, so it's going to be close. We're in for a battle.
30-15, 15-30, sorry.
I like the lob return, right? Huge point, 15-30.
Yeah.
You're trying to break serve again, throw up a lob, and you get a missed overhead.
When
That's
you
great.
can see the natural response is to rush into the net, especially on a wet court, right, to try not to let that ball dip at your feet.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to let it get behind you. You don't want to let it get low.
I like how Pat Sullivan kind of gets a nice running in start with his serve. It gets close, gets a step closer to the net, and then gets balanced, ready to make that first volley.
Close.
You're right. And what were you saying there? Go.
I was asking Pat Sullivan to close in there, because you could see his partner was falling back, hitting the overhead. His partner, and the best angle is probably to put that overhead cross court, so you close right in front of the guys hitting the overhead too, and maybe take away that drive. Yeah.
One of the things I'm going to love sitting here in the booth with you, Andrew, is the player versus the pro aspect, right? So
do you feel differently? about it?
No. But the explanation and the description is different, right? So you're talking about it as your partner's hitting that overhead, you got to close, versus I look at it from the coaching perspective of the backcourt team. Anytime that overhead comes to you cross court from the down the line lob, you have to drive that ball straight. So if Sullivan doesn't close, it becomes a tough volley.
Yeah,
right. So it's a little reverse coin flip there,
Definitely.
right? You're catching up both sides.
Completely.
15 all.
Oh, that two-hander's getting a little loose. 2 quick errors there.
Could have been a product of a skid serve there a little bit, right?
Yeah, that is one of the problems when it is a little wet. Sometimes you want to hold back those drives, especially if you're hitting a lot of topspin on them. You need to flatten them out a little bit, keep it in play.
Almost.
What would you say, Ben, is your number one wet weather tip? I mean, you and the legendary Pete Rose, the two of you together, had so many great mutter matches, right, back in the day?
We did, yeah. So I think the key is obviously you have to get your serve, and that's one of the hardest things. Especially the ball can kind of slide off your paddle, and if you get the ball in, the interaction with the ball hitting the surface is going to usually skip a little bit of slide. So it's key to get the serve in. And then once you're in, you really want to control the net. The easiest way to do it with wet is hit hard slices. That's the type of spin that will catch the water. We call it hydroplaning, which just slides into the screens. And if you're up against something like that, that type of formidable team at the net, when you're in the backcourt, you really have to take your chances. So any ball that comes back off the screen, you want to just give it a drive, a flat drive, force a short volley, try to make something happen, because if you too many lobs in a row, the point will be over.
Well, go ahead, keep going.
Oh, no, he just almost fell again.
I think you're right. The hardest shot to defend on the wet court is the overhead.
Yeah.
So if you just sit back and lob, all you're going to be doing is fighting for your life back there. What about you, Andrew? Playing in the wet conditions, what are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
It's similar. Yeah, it's just about holding the net, and I couldn't say it better than Ben. I mean, I think that's really the only thing. Everything goes from there.
Some things to consider if you do hit a little bit of a kick serve or a spin serve, you try to flatten that serve out a little bit, turn it a little bit more slice, so change your grip a little bit more. Even just a flat push serve can sometimes be very effective. Just getting in.
I think as a deuce court player at the net, you have to be ready to hit a couple more overheads too, just because your partner is not going to cover you as much, right? They're not going to be as comfortable moving on the wet. You don't want to be moving around as much. It's just like, fight for your life from the net almost too.
Yeah, I think everything is a little less precise, right?
Yeah.
The lobs, the movement, the court positioning. You got to be a little bit more flexible and adaptable with what's going to happen and come your way.
And a key to playing well in the rain is just accepting that it's going to suck. And there's going to be dumb points, and it's going to be close. It's probably going to go into a tiebreaker, and
Can't get down if you
just
lose
have
some points too. Yeah, at the net.
you just have to accept the situation and just try to advance.
My dad, longtime tennis professional, always used to say the team that the weather affects the most always loses, right? So if you're going to be like, man, this sucks, it's wet, whereas you're like, yep, guess what? He's playing on the same wet court that I am. We're just going to deal with it and figure it out.
It's a wise old man.
Wow. Look at that.
I'm fortunate to be like Mikey over here in the booth, the second generation guy. Kudos to Adam Morgan, Chicago paddle player, made it to the finals of the Chicago Charity this week. Also a second generation tennis professional here in Chicago.
Really?
So yeah. Third generation, thank you, Sean. And actually, I don't know if people know this, but Jay and Adam did win a gold ball 2 weekends ago, which is a national tennis championship. So he and his father won in the father-son doubles.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
It is pretty incredible.
Sounds like he should go play a pickle tournament next weekend, huh? Right?
Well, it's not. It isn't as big a deal yet as a gold ball as is in tennis. But again, some famous father-son teams. You got the Grangers, the Carzens, the Morgans, the Raleighs, right? You got great group here in Chicago that just Chicago legends.
Yeah.
So we got 4-1 here on the changeover. I love saying it. It's the most deceiving lead in racket sports. But I believe this is a two-break 4-1, if I'm not mistaken, right? So that makes it a little harder.
A little harder. I'd like to see a few less errors from the Lakeshore team and just get a little more lobs, try to get a little better rhythm, slow the match down, see if they can sort of find their games. This is that spot when things start to go quickly the wrong way, and you really have to try to manage it at this point.
What have you seen up to this point, Andrew? I know it's been quick, and unfortunately, it's been a little slippery, right? So some shorter points, but what have you seen so far?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think all the players, if I told them one thing, it would be really commit to softening their overheads to the middle and holding a backhand volley and looking for the backhand volley as often as they can. But yeah, it is slick, and sometimes there's just nothing you can do.
We are seeing a lot of missed forehand volleys on this court so
that's
far,
what
right?
I think the key you said there was forehand, right?
Yeah.
Our goal obviously with that backhand is not just to provide our teaching professionals with more lessons because it's something to work on, but they're just more stable.
I think that's one thing that like the league players and the club players like don't benefit from watching pros play or watching, you know, tournaments on the APTA tour and stuff like that, watching the live stream on the weekends. You see a lot of forehand volleys. And I just think it's like, you know, sometimes it's a habit. You get tennis players who can hit forehand volleys, tennis players that it's natural for, they have the strength for, they just have to do it. And I think it, you know, it does a
great
disservice to
volley.
what some of these players need to do. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, what a dig.
Great dig.
Now we got a good point.
All right, pick a side, pick a side.
Well, you can see the court's drying a little bit, right? So
Lift it, yeah. Good middle, lift it again. Push middle.
You guys, you know, we've all played a lot out there. Maybe Andrew not nearly as much as Ben and I together, but
You'd be surprised.
I mean, together,
No,
right?
I'm just kidding.
But I think I'm a big middle overhead guy, right? So you look at that Exmoor logo in the center of the court, and these guys should be aiming every overhead they can down underneath that 1896, right? That's the ball that's going to come back as a lob. It's going to be short. Give yourself an opportunity to attack your next ball. And as Ben was saying, then you can get a little slash, a little cut in there
Yeah,
to be
soften
aggressive
it
on the
into
wet
a
court.
corner. Yeah.
Big point, deuce, 4-1.
I think we also have to mention that one of the reasons why we do like that middle reset is because if the other team does drive, the ball is being driven from the middle, and you're in both at the net and very good angles to make the volley. So it might become a mathematical advantage to be the volleyer in that situation. You start hitting overhead resets just towards the corners, you open up angles, much tougher to volley those balls, harder to pick them up.
And it's the same thing, like you said, under the 1896, right? You just said under the logo,
Under,
not
yes.
at the logo, right? Because then you're driving up over the net, ball's rising.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you keep the ball below the level of the net, it makes volleying a lot easier.
Yeah.
Especially for us short guys, that anything that comes, you know, chest high, we know is going out. You know, you taller guys, it's a little
Yeah.
tougher. You got a decision to make sometimes. Is it going to get you, or are you going to let it fly and go by and catch it? So interesting, a series of waterfall overheads there. I like that pick and stick to the deuce guy, but you know, we got a little hot off that one that went up and out. So we've got an add point. Now, interesting fact here, the server is allowed to leave the court to go chase this ball. Isn't that right, Mikey?
You have to say the score.
You have to say the score first, just so we don't confuse it. Sorry, that was throwing a little bit of the, you know, the club pro banter in there. You know, all the wives' tales that go around the ladies' league. You know, there's a long-standing wives' tale that the server's not allowed to leave the court to go get the ball because they'll forget the score.
Wow.
It's true. It's a fact.
That blew my mind.
This is always a big serve after one of these, you know, coming in, get add out.
Yeah, is he going to take one?
I hope so.
You think?
I would
hope
ask
he,
for
I
one
hope
here,
he does. Yeah,
personally.
everybody should give him
yeah.
one.
I
Yeah.
mean, he can take, but just
I don't think he's going to.
God, I hope he does.
Come on. Taking one here, guys. No. All right, here we go. Good serve.
Yep, clutch.
Lift.
What'd you say? Say that again.
Lift. I wanted, he was getting the ball low off the back screen. I want him to lift it up as high as he can. Yeah, just like that. Wow.
Good move.
What a takeover.
Great move.
Good cover by his partner, too.
I love that.
Right.
I love on a big point like that, right? You take charge, win or lose, it's on your paddle. We can live with that.
Yeah.
Right, great break. Now Sullivan and Garber need a hold here.
Now, would this be when it doesn't count as a break unless you hold, right, Sean? Is that what you would say at this point?
I would have said it.
So what you're looking for here, right, guys, is you're looking for a good long service game, right? You don't want anything quick, because the hardest part, and again, we have to go back to the Brad Gilbert winning ugly. After every long game is always a short game. So if you lose this in a short game, it's almost worth two in a lot of ways, right? So you're the server, you're thinking good game, get our teeth into it, right?
Yeah.
Stay in control
Yeah,
of the
I think
net.
so.
he wants that return back.
I think so.
Yeah, that wasn't his best serve. It landed a little too shallow. He's going to try to get a little deeper. That was way too
So
shallow.
it is going a little quick, right, Jason?
Yeah, it's scary how smart Brad Gilbert was with that, right? And I don't know that Brad Gilbert can take credit for that, but after every long point is a short point, and vice versa, and after every long game or short game is a long game or short game, vice versa, right? So you just don't want to be on the losing end of it because it hurts.
Right, that's such a hard thing to judge, just momentum, right?
Look at
like
this.
you
Yep.
have it, and how fast did it go? When you lose 1 point, you still feeling good? Do you feel like
And they work so hard to grind, right, to get back.
Oh, right.
There,
off
tipped his paddle.
Yeah.
It's 30-40.
30-40.
Oh,
Great
Great return.
Brought the heat right at the net guy.
Right, if you're comfortable hitting it, hit it.
Just goes to show you that you can create a lot of offense without tennis strokes in this game. If you
Yeah.
play angles and get your feet in the right position and move.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, right? It's about your feet and your positioning, right? It doesn't matter how you hit it; it's where it goes, and are you positioned to actually get it to where you want it to go.
Sometimes it helps. It's a little unconventional looking, right? Like people don't know what's coming. They can't quite see. You hide it. You have a short stroke. They always said that about, you mentioned Dan Hirsch earlier. They always said that about Dan Hirsch. He's the best paddle player who never played tennis. His strokes are so unconventional.
So here we are, 5-2, and again, another very scary game score situation. We did the jinx on the team last week from Northmore, right? Up 5-2 serving, lost the set. One of us in the booth, who remained nameless, but it was me, called it that they were going to come back and win. Remember?
Oh, wow.
At Glenview. But you can just feel it. This is one of those scores where the serving team feels very confident, and the returning team says, I got nothing to lose. I might as well go and hit a few balls or take a few more chances.
Mm-hmm.
Great
I feel
overhead.
like
I believe it's
Decker and
15 all.
Yeah, 15 all. I think Decker and Barrett are playing very smooth now. Kind of like you said about them feeling maybe comfortable at 5-2. Like, just their overheads. Looks like they're not doing anything crazy. Just kind of put that in the corner, soft.
Nice return. We've seen about 4 or 5 returns now down the line at the net guy. We say this a lot when we teach, is just because the person's there doesn't mean they want to be.
Great point.
So
That's good.
you hit it at them, and just because they're standing there doesn't mean they want it to come to them, or they're ready.
It's often me when my partner's serving, actually.
There's no worse feeling than when your partner throws a short serve or overhead in.
No, it's more about me than my partners, I think. I don't think it's about my partners. I have great partners.
Andrew, when you're returning serve, how often will you take a drive right at the net guy?
I like to. If I can crack it hard, I will. And you know what? Someone told me, they said it specifically about Stephen Mitchell. They were like, if you ever play Durant and Mitchell, and you're taking your backhand off the screen, down the line at Mitchell, for some reason, not necessarily Johan serving, he hits that underhand serve, but they were like, take it like higher at him than you normally would. Like, don't try and get it low over the net. Like, he's standing tight on the net. He's sliding to the right. I'm thinking of me being on the ad side and him being on the deuce side at the net. They're like, he's right there and he slides perfectly. Just hit him a little high in the shoulder. And so I don't mind hitting it hard at them because it's kind of safe when it's higher over the net, right? I'm going to make it. So.
And I think, to be clear, you're not saying you're trying to hit him.
No,
right?
No, I'm just trying to put the ball in a tough spot.
Exactly. And anybody that's going to crowd the net, for all of the club level players, right? It doesn't mean you're trying to hit them.
Right.
But if they're going to stand that close, they have to be able to defend themselves to some degree or return the ball that comes back at them.
Right.
I heard one of the greatest lines of all time years ago, last year.
Great
series,
blitz.
Great
Oh,
blitz.
What a
dig.
dig.
Just keeping.
Look at them. And then they
Point
stay on.
again.
Oh, see, I would have liked to see him go right back at him again.
Yeah, they switch sides.
Decker and Barrett are really feeling it now.
I mean, this is a huge point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because this is a
There it
momentum
is.
thing,
Yes.
right? 5-3.
Yes,
Okay.
totally.
He misses that
Sorry,
one, you know?
keep going, Jason. What'd you have?
Oh my! So the guy drove the ball down the line just like we were talking about
Yeah.
return to serve, and there was a little bit of a discrepancy, on the court, and finally,
Whoa.
That's where the
He's
pickleball shot
laughing.
does not work.
That's good. Laughing.
they seem
touch
okay.
paddles,
They
it's
seem okay.
Oh,
Yeah. That's going to the well one too many times. Yeah.
Jumped into it a little
Yeah.
bit.
He ran into
Here
the
he
ball.
goes again.
Yeah.
Back up again.
He's not scared. He's
No
coming
fear,
again.
yeah.
But one of the lines from one of the players was, "Yeah, my partner's out of control with his drive. It's going high." But he said, "Your partner also doesn't have to stand there."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
No.
move. I won't do it.
Yeah, exactly. I won't hit it at you if you're not standing that close.
Nice set for
All right.
Exmoor.
All right, first set, we've got 6-2 to Decker and Barrett. Thanks for bringing in the smooth jazz, Sean. We're going to take a little break, some words from our sponsors.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
And welcome back. We're at the historic, that's for you, Sean, Exmoor Country Club, where we've got a Series 12 match against Exmoor Country Club and Lakeshore Sport and Fitness. We had just finished the first set with Decker and Barrett from Exmoor winning that first set 6-2. We're in the middle, just starting the first game of the second set. We've got Ben McKnight and Andrew Ong on the mic tonight. This is Jason Love.
Whoa.
Great picture. Good picture.
Another good one.
Yep. But at this point, I want to bring in Director of Racket Sports here at the Exmoor Country Club, Mike Raleigh. Welcome, Mike.
Jason, thanks so much. Happy to be here.
So one of the big things that we've been trying to do is get a little highlight and a little airtime for not only the club professionals but also the clubs, the programs, and the whole setup for themselves, through the live stream process. So Mike, you've been here 87 years? No, I think 20.
Feels like two. Feels like
Since
two.
1896.
Yeah, 1896.
He started the paddle program. Well played. Well played. But what, 20?
Since 2003, so this is my 22nd season.
Incredible. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about your program, what you got going on in terms of number of men's and ladies teams, and what's happening here on the courts.
Oh, it's all good. We've got, I think to date, we've got 8 men's teams and now 9 ladies teams for it in a Monday night league and 5 during the day league. So things are busy. Yeah.
What would you, the biggest growth, right? Women's Monday night league?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, we've grown 400% in
400?
Well, we went from 0 teams to 4 in 2 years. So that would be, yeah. I mean, I'm no mathematician, but.
Well, Mike, you and I have always been kind of the numbers guys, right? So we kind of track everything. But no, I agree with you that the Monday Night League for the women has been the save-all, the catch-all, right? The piece that's growing in the league here. Why do you think that is for you, not just specifically here at Exmoor, but across the Chicagoland area?
I think it's a great question. I think it's got a lot to do with it's an avenue for new players to come out and experience the great game of paddle when and if, we've got a lot of families that have two parents that are working, and, it's an opportunity for the women to have their night out, and, it's a great opportunity to get to what would be players that couldn't come out and play, getting them involved.
I've seen it's huge for the ladies like coming out of college tennis too, kind of younger that are working a lot and they just feel like they can't get out during the day, and
Yeah.
they just it really helps develop that higher level of the women's paddle too.
Boy, I'd love to see that here, but majority of our growth has been what I'd call more of the organic growth.
Okay.
No pesticides. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, healthier. Yeah.
Free range, where they're not quite the top level. But it really, I think, that's where we've seen our greatest growth has been they're high on the opportunity, maybe low on the experience. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a different experience, right?
Yeah.
Not that what they're coming in with, but what they get out of it, right? It's a little bit more like the men's league,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They come and they're going to commit to whatever commitment level they see fit for themselves, but Monday night becomes a social night, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I bet here in the Oak House, it's booming here on a Monday night.
Yeah, we've gone to the full-on, just like any other home match with all the fixings, and, it's much to the chagrin of the club. Monday they were typically closed, but now they're staffing the Oak House to a much higher level. They've gone away from just pizzas, and now it's the full-on experience of, buffets and all that. So I believe everybody's loving it.
Exmoor was one of the original clubs that did the kitchen in the paddle hut, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
I would think
it is.
we
I
have,
think I always,
I would say that's the
Yeah,
case.
it's an awesome facility
Yeah,
here.
this has been lucky to have this. I think this might be our 8th or 9th year of the Oak House.
Got some popcorn? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
People are just handing us popcorn. The Oak House is amazing.
Yeah.
We got it. If I just say, I need a beer, it's just going to appear in my hand.
the
Yeah.
beer.
We got Sullivan and Garber blitzing out of, left and right. You got to have some popcorn.
And
it is
I
off
think
the neck.
as far as this match is concerned, to give kind of a little, this is either a repeat of the semifinal or the final of last year's league championships. The Series 12 team here at Exmoor, under the helm of Mr. Chris Shelmo, who's been the captain he does a great job. He sends out each week like a
Good switch.
16-page match recap.
Oh, there's nothing better than
Yeah.
the weekly match recap
I mean,
email.
it's insane. It's
Yeah.
it's literally 2 to 3. I have to take about 20 minutes of my day to read it, but they did win the league. They won the hat and the mug, so they were, I think, league champs and season-ending champs.
It's
so.
impressive to go with the double dip, to get them both.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I love about the men's league structure, right? Is you can be the number one seed and win out through the league, and blow it in the playoffs. You can come in as the 8th seed and come in and upset the world.
I really didn't understand that my first year here. Seriously, the
I'll be
distinction
honest, neither
between
did
the
I.
two, and we won the regular season, and I was like, "This is great, this is awesome." They're like, "Yeah, you
it
haven't-
means nothing.
It doesn't
It means
matter."
nothing.
Yeah. Then meanwhile, my captain's like, "That's everything. That's great. That was incredible." Everyone else is like, "Yeah, you suck."
I remember my first playoff match, and it was unfortunately against Ben and his Glenview team. I walked up, and next thing you know, we started our match, and then there's a couple hundred people watching, and we lost, and it was like our dog died, and the whole world ended. I had no clue really what it meant. So we got a deuce game here, 1-love. Again, it's been close. It's one of our famous lines that we hear all the time. Every game's gone to deuce. It's been tight games,
amazing.
but
They're super nice.
Well, usually there's
Food's great.
the spread was good.
Yeah.
I know. Need to learn how to do that. Usually there's no pictures on the scorecard, right? Like you can say every game went to deuce, and there's no pictures on it. This time there are receipts. on the video.
That's
Oh,
right.
wow.
You know,
I
they'll
like
say,
that.
Hey, every
That's
game went to
deep.
Deuce. Check the video.
That's deep.
Check the tape.
That's deep. So,
So, Jason, before I get Ben back on, I want to make sure that everybody out there listening, I think our thousands of fans, that they're starting to think about the team nationals that we host here at Exmoor. And last year we had, I think, close to 500 women. We went to 19 or 20 different clubs. So two things, making sure that you're formulating, I say like-minded PTI team members. Doesn't have to be from the same club or the same, even city for that matter, but they do have to have a similar PTI, 6 to 8 players, as well as all the club coordinators out there. We need your courts for the first weekend in April. Can't thank them enough for putting up the courts, and because without them, we can't host what is the biggest tournament of the year. So
yeah, and kudos to you. They're right back at you, Mike. I mean, that's quite an undertaking, doing the team nationals. How many years now? 6?
yeah, with the break for COVID.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I think this
6,
is,
yeah.
and it's grown exponentially every year. So
And we alternate every year. So men and women one is always here in Chicago. So this year will be the men here in Chicago. So men's teams that are listening tonight, put your groups together.
from
Ben's
every
in.
level.
Ben's
I mean,
in.
if Ben-
Are
if
you a
Ben's
free agent?
playing-
Are you looking?
No.
Oh, you've already got a team.
Yep. Captain Randy Lofgren.
Oh,
No way.
Oh, yeah.
should I?
Man.
Really?
M-
Who
my-
else is on the team?
My
Can I play?
email must have gone to junk. I don't think I got that email.
Ernie. Pete Rose.
So the beauty of
Really?
the beauty of this is it's from PTIs of
DVD.
what's your PTI, like a 22, Ben McKnight? All the way from 22 down to like 70. So
Yeah.
you can have any.
Ben does get bottom placed in a lot of tournaments.
Well, water seeks its own level.
Well, Ben and I did come out and watch the women's. We had a friend watch the women's team nationals last year. We had a friend, Tiernan Cavana,
Yeah.
playing,
Yeah.
and we came out and watched.
And
And
his
it was
former
really
bride
awesome.
was playing on your
Yeah.
birthday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your birthday. You like 53rd?
Oh yeah, and Ben's wife.
53rd birthday? Was that Ben?
34.
34. Well, anyway, Mike, I know you got to take off, but
Yeah, I got to get
hey,
ready for the ladies' match tomorrow morning.
Kudos to Mike and everyone here at Exmoor. Unbelievable program. You've been doing it a long time. You're a legend, and like I said, we want to make sure that we got you on here to talk about your program a
Appreciate
little
it.
bit.
Thanks, everybody, for listening, and talk to you all soon.
Thanks, Mikey.
Well, huge game for Sullivan and Garber because they just stopped the bleeding. Right, that was
totally.
like 4 on the trot. I
Yeah.
think. Right, 4-2 to 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, thank God Mike's off the mic now because we can talk about the match again. But I think that, that was a big game, right?
Oh yeah, huge because it was long too. Went to Deuce
Yes,
also.
yes. Now, to that point exactly, and I know Sean's going to reference it, but hopefully we don't have a short game here to follow it, right? The Brad Gilbert long game, short game.
Don't forget the home court advantage. I heard that.
On your bingo cards, am I getting all the right terms? I'm not used to being the full-on host guy, right? I'm usually the color guy cracking the jokes.
Did you see that volley?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Look away.
Anticipated it, stepped in. Plenty of time.
So welcome back, Ben. Thanks.
Yeah, I was glad to get some popcorn for everyone.
Thank you for that.
Does not make up for the no invite to Team National.
I was just going to say, did you? I
No,
didn't get it.
either.
I actually just did a quick
I
check.
have two email addresses. I should probably check the other one, right?
It went to my junk for sure.
Exactly. They thought I wanted to play with
Hey.
Ben McKnight. Junk.
Hey, Captain Lofgren is out there. You know how to
reach out to
contact
the
him.
captain.
Hey, what do you say we put our own team together?
Yeah, let's
Ben,
put
guess
our-
who's not invited?
We're getting Paul Rose too. We want the better Rose brother.
Love it.
I heard Paul had a big win last night, right?
Paul did.
3 and 6.
Yep. Great match.
Series 1 match.
All because of our good warm up on Sunday. We played on Sunday
Yeah.
after charities, Ben and Paul and I.
Yeah, special thanks to all the clubs for donating their courts over the weekend of charities. We used just about 16 different clubs for our courts for the charities tournament. We had full draws for both the men's and the women's and the 90s. So again, I thought the weekend went really well. And again, as Mike mentioned about upcoming tournaments as well, this weekend is PTI Nationals. So all of our CPTC listeners that are out there, we are hosting the PTI 20 plus and 30 plus this not this weekend, but the weekend after, November 16th and 17th. You can still sign up. And just a little sign-up tip. When you sign up, you will get waitlisted. That doesn't mean you're not in. But with the PTI Nationals, you always get waitlisted first, and then we let you in based on PTI. So.
And let everyone know, this is essentially the old intermediates tournament.
Correct.
So
Thank
even
you.
though it is, quote, the PTI Nationals, don't worry about that.
Yes.
It's just playing people your similar levels, just like the old intermediates. So sign up, go have fun, and we'll get a couple of local national champions, which is pretty cool.
The medals were delivered to my house the other day. I have them.
Yeah.
They're laid out. My kids have been helping iron them. They're gonna be nice. There's no wrinkles.
Well, actually, they might not be locals. I'm sure there are people traveling from out of town to come in.
There are from out of town.
Right. So.
But again, for all Chicago CPTC players, you should jump in and play this event. It's a great event.
Yep.
Hosted at the Glenview Club again and all the Chicago North Shore clubs. As always, I would just want to give a quick mention. If you're listening, please send your text, questions, comments, etc. To the group. We've got, so Andrew mentioned Tiernan. She just sent me a text. She's listening to us right now, guys.
Good. We told her.
I don't know that you were on the text.
I am on the text.
Okay,
No,
good.
I am.
I just wanted to make sure. It's similar to Ben's PTI team, or his team nationals. We maybe didn't get the invite.
So funny. Well, Jay Woldenberg just texted me too. Said I'm gonna go pour a beer in my pewter mug right now, which is from the mugs that we won from doing the.
I'm pretty sure that's not healthy. You shouldn't drink out of
winning
those.
the league in the regular season. And I'll tell you what, the Glenbrook team that won the tournament that year is putting on their hats and taking a picture and sending to Jay, I think.
Oh, for sure. So we got a great match. Look, much better second set. These guys are coming out and playing a little steadier, right? What are your thoughts coming in here, guys?
Yeah, it was a great momentum shift there. Just lost a set, dropped 2 games, and then all of a sudden they battle back. Now we have a battle.
What? Almost did that.
It's not easy to change the momentum, but when it does change, sometimes we'll see a little run. So
We do talk about the match sometimes, but Tiernan, yes, we do have to cover some other things on the CPTC. Make sure we get our sponsors and all of our friends involved as well. But 40-15 here. Again, I love the momentum change, as you just said, Ben, and Andrew here, right? Like a little change of the guard. Let's see if these guys can keep it going. All you're hoping for is to stay competitive through that 4-4 mark for me.
Yeah.
Game-wise, you get to 4-4, anything can happen.
Oh, wow. Great volley. Oh. Whoa.
take that.
40-30. Another break point. Ooh,
The
there it is.
slapper got him again.
Well, I actually think his pace was fantastic, right? But you're right, not your traditional tennis form,
Yeah.
but he kept
But
the pace under control.
He ran in with the forehand volley, though, again. Like that's what.
So, should we talk about it? Should we get into it? Should we get technical for a reason?
I feel like we
Yeah.
kind of did. I don't really know the technical behind it. You do. You're the teaching pro. I just know them.
So,
hit a backhand volley.
all right, so if, I don't know that we, the new guy got a replay queued up for that last one, but the key is when you serve the ball, wherever the ball goes, you're going to follow directly behind it. Nope, that was him getting bagged again. Well done, Cal.
That was funny.
But wherever you serve the ball, you're going to follow directly behind with your nose, toes, and belly button,
Wow.
right?
Head and shoulders too, and knees.
Yeah, well,
The whole
they're all there, right? When we're teaching men, we use a different terminology sometimes.
yeah.
But the point is if you do that, the ball is going to come back to your center mass, which is defended by a backhand volley.
Got it. Okay.
A lot of tennis players or non-backhand oriented players, they move straight forward. So here on the ad side, for example, he'll serve and run straight into the service box, which leaves his forehand volley in the middle of the court. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the goal is to always follow the direction of that ball so it comes to your backhand.
I have question. What do you tell, or how do you coach like a righty-lefty team that's serving and volleying, right? Because they're at the net. You have forehands in the middle for the overheads, but it's also like if I see a righty-lefty team, I'm like, okay, I'm only driving in the middle. I know where my target is. Hit the ball to the forehand volleys. Like, how do you coach to defend that?
Yeah.
And if you don't,
Great.
that's fine. I'm just curious.
No, great question. Well, I think look, so I just started new at Biltmore Country Club, right? And I said there's two main things we're always working on. It's always on movement and communication. So the point is what makes you that drive that you're talking about hard to defend is when it goes to an angle, and then you have to defend the angle that comes with it, and we're not communicating to where we need to be to defend it, right? So when you play balls in a position where you are setting yourself up. Oh, and the Lakeshore winner.
Slapper again.
You can't hit it if you don't drive, right?
That's
right.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
Thanks. Good replay there. But I think the key is at the higher level, players move, and people don't notice it, right? Like they're like ducks swimming on the water. You don't notice that they're moving, shifting, et cetera, to put their backhand volley in position. So, Andrew, you do that without thinking about it.
you're right. I'm just thinking about playing Drew Broderick 2 weeks ago, and he did hit more backhand volleys than I wanted him to. I agree.
And he moves so well. All personal feelings aside about Drew, he's an incredibly smart paddle player, right? So he's always moving and you don't realize it. Yeah. So he's putting himself in a position to hit a backhand volley. So the lefty-righty combo, it doesn't matter which side they're playing. It also doesn't matter if it's two righties. You can get yourself caught with you've got your forehand volley in a position you don't want it to be.
Well, he couldn't walk after the match, so he was definitely doing a lot of moving. Great shot.
There's that short ball that causes a hard volley to defend, right?
Yeah.
So we've got 30-40. Another break point here. This has been a set of breaks, right?
And hard to hold tonight.
It's a new game. New game? Sorry, we were off on the score there.
I like the formation.
New guy. Well done. You like the formation here, Ben?
I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Why is
Well,
that, guys?
Well, he's been given a little trouble with that forehand return, so it's like, let's mix it up. Give him a different look.
Wow. What a shot.
What a pickup. Oh,
That's the same guy?
Wow.
took a funny bounce.
That was the same guy.
The famous,
I'm kinda joking, yeah.
famous Mike Rowley comment. Same guy.
Yeah, right?
He can hit the amazing shot, but also hit the back screen with a drive.
The worst part is when it's in the same point, right? Because you like to
Yep.
end the point with a great shot, and then
Yep.
you can miss the next one, but you don't like to do it in the same point and just lose one.
Love 30. And again, look, here's another quick game, unfortunately.
Great volley.
So what's interesting is we talked about earlier about the drives down the line, right? And so now we've seen the volleyer almost ready for that, like they're anticipating that ball coming to them down the line.
Got caught leaning. Look, even his feet right there, like his left foot's still back. He hasn't moved in 5 seconds. Like he's like stepping back.
Right. It was all set up with the short volley. That first volley could have been a little deeper beyond the service line.
Wow, great hands. Yeah.
You don't get that next one that's right on top of you. So
Well, and again, that's a Ben McKnight strong point to your game, right? Your volleys are all deep, right? Why do we want them deep? So that they're farther away from us. This ball is traveling 50 plus miles an hour from less than 20 feet away. The farther back you can keep them, the easier it's going to be to volley the next ball.
that's right.
So we got 4-3.
I thought, whoa, that serve missed.
Well, as long as all four guys on the court agree, Andrew, we're going to go with what they have out there. 15 love.
Yeah.
I mean, this
I don't
would
see Durrani's not out there, is he? It's all good. So I've had some personal experience.
was that like my Drew Broderick comment?
A little bit. I played Durrani last night. He was a gentleman,
But
he won the match.
Yeah,
So
well,
of
that
course.
helps.
Yeah.
Tell you, the future's playing some great paddle.
He is.
He has
Yeah.
been.
He's
He
got
had a
his-
big win this
He's got his
weekend.
body healthy again.
Yeah.
He's moving well. And he's a problem to play against right now.
I would say at the charities, he was the most talked about match at lunch. Right? He beat Scotty Kaler and Paulie Rose 3-0. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
solid match.
Unfortunately, Scott's dealing with some plantar fasciitis.
I was going to say,
so, yeah,
there was
it's
rumors of injury, but at the same time,
but,
that's
yeah,
a big match.
It's always a great win. Yeah.
At the same time, maybe we just won't grab Paul Rose for our team nationals team.
No, I'll take Paulie anytime. I actually said this the other night. I think Paul and I have lost 2 matches lifetime.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I'll
I'll take
find
Paul.
someone
I'll
else.
take
Yeah, I'll
Paul. You
find
pick a
someone
different
else,
partner, and then we'll beat Ben and his team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll take the future.
I think
That's
we're
great.
gonna invite Robert to play with us.
Yeah.
You know what? You can invite anybody you want. We're good with it. 30-40. I would love to see this.
Maybe Ionis.
He's a little banged up, I think, right now, too. Hurt his back this weekend. But I
I
was
was just talking about all my partners. I hate it.
I'll tell you what. Jonas is playing some great paddle. That's the next guy
Jonas
in the
Merckx.
Chicago area.
Jonas Merckx,
who's- yeah,
former
he's-
Belgian professional tennis player. Yeah.
I love that drive there.
He
That
reminds
was
me of like a young Chris Gambino.
Mm.
Just-
I thought you said Jared Palmer too. I mean,
well,
they were both good.
sorry, I'll call you out on. Oh, really?
They were both good.
Really?
I did say Jared
I've
Palmer.
never seen Chris play.
There's plenty of film.
Someone
out
tried
there.
to convince me it was more like Gambino, but
Yes.
since Chris is a Chicago guy, I thought I was going to throw it out to him.
Really?
He was
Chicago
he was an East Coast guy before that.
I thought East
Yeah.
Coast.
Originally New Jersey, and then he moved out. He was probably out here for a decade.
He doesn't play league. No, he's not here anymore.
We are former CPTC Series 1 champions together, teammates at Lakeshore Sport and Fitness.
Chris was amazing.
Really?
Absolutely amazing.
Forehand?
Crushed his
He
forehand.
does crush forehands.
Crushed it.
Never missed a volley.
Never, ever missed a
Still in
volley.
the service line.
Would you agree, Ben? He was the best volleyer off the net that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He never moved in past the service line.
Wow. These Spanish guys are getting pretty good at volleying from there, but
Yeah. I'm not giving him to him yet, you know. I love that forehand drive
Yeah,
there.
great drive.
All right, so we got an
Up.
add point. Oh,
that had to feel good, though.
that
No.
You don't like that swing, Andrew?
I
You're just
don't
upset
know.
that he missed it.
I'm upset he missed it. I don't think he needed to swing.
well, and I'm
Down
going
a
to say
set.
I'm going to say this: you had the volleyer right in front of the net. He was there and ready, right? If he lobs that ball again, and
One
then
more.
drives the
Yeah.
next ball after that, he's off the net.
Right, one more.
I mean, Sullivan and Gerber were all over that volley when it comes. So here we
Great
go.
volley.
3-5 serving,
30 love?
30 love. This would be huge. I mean, you win this game here, you at least put the pressure on Decker and Barrett to have to serve it out. If they lose this game, well, Cal, they would lose the match. Yeah.
So it's a must-win.
I mean, you don't want to say must win.
Wow.
Oh, great drive.
See, that's the high drive.
Yep, he went down the line,
But
but
it
he
was probably
handled it.
going in, right?
He
'Cause the
handled
guy was
it.
so close, yeah.
I don't know if it was, but either way, he was so close.
Yeah,
You got to
he
hit
had
it.
to.
Had to hit it. So I've been teaching a lot this week about lobs, right? And that lob right there, was it perfect?
Not quite.
No. But everybody else thought it was going to be a drive, and it threw them off,
Yeah.
and they stutter step
Yeah.
for a
We're at
second,
match
right?
point here.
Oh, boy. All right, pop it in.
Oh, he went for the slapper.
See, same thing. I'm like,
I like that swing, though.
see, I
Match
don't.
point
That's
might
so
as well.
funny.
Try to just close it out.
That's
You're feeling
so funny. I
good.
don't like it.
Why don't you like it, Andrew?
You don't need it, right? You're like, you're in control. You've been doing, well, I guess he's kind of been driving the return all day, huh? Because it's just like you're up a set in 5-3.
Yeah. No,
You
he's
just
been
don't
winning- he's
need
winning a
to.
lot of points with
you
it.
don't need to like be risky. Like if you
But
were.
the other
if you were
side is
kinda-
he also has that nice little block lob from the same motion,
yeah.
and so he
Yes,
could have been a good time
agreed.
for that.
When you get the paddle above the hand, you don't know if guys are going to drive or lob.
That's the Dan Hirsch thing that I was talking about earlier. Okay. Great lob. Nice.
Oh, he got him. Match point. Good win for
Excellent
Exmoor.
match. Yep. 3-0.
So we're not
That's
sure.
why they're the last year's champs.
That's right, and we're not sure about what the other courts are up to, but we've got a match win there for Decker and Barrett. Exmoor wins that 6-2, 6-3. We're going to see what we got coming up next about our next match coming in. But again, big thanks to the CPTC, Illinois Boyne and Joint, Wintrust, and Viking. And stay tuned for some more Chicagoland paddle.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
And welcome back. We are still here at Exmoor Country Club doing the Series 12 match against Exmoor and Lakeshore Sport and Fitness. I got Ben McKnight and Andrew Ong sitting here with us. We're getting ready for, this is court 3, if I'm not mistaken, right guys?
Welcome to the show.
Court 3. And we've got Helms and Penner from Lakeshore Sport and Fitness playing against Shalmo and Van Buren, the power duo from Exmoor Country Club.
Yep. Van Buren serving, I believe.
First game.
First game, that was quick. We came in late.
Yep.
Servers. Shalmo and Van Buren.
So again, we're not sure about the score of the match, but just for those, we do have some national listeners following this match. So every match you win in the CPTC Men's League, if you win a court, you get 3 points. Okay, so we know that Exmoor is up 3-0. Obviously, stellar coaching by the director of racket sports, year 23, by the legendary Mikey Raleigh. And here we go. We got 15 love down 0-1 in the first set. Guys, what are you thinking? What are you looking for this match here?
Well, who is in the red sleeves? Shalmo. He's hit like 2 huge forehand drives already down the line. Like high forehand. Like already I'm thinking if I'm Helms and Penner, I'm just not
Don't give him that ball.
the outside anymore. You know, he's hitting that lob and see, there it goes again. That's 3. So that was the very first thing I saw.
So it'll be interesting. We got the lefty-righty combo. So you asked a couple questions about that volley and the court positioning coming up, and so that'll be interesting with Helms and Penner here, right?
Yeah,
with
we'll
the
see what they
lefty-righty. We mentioned that
he's hit 4 now.
he loves the down-the-line drive.
Down the line drive from the outside. Okay, sorry.
No, I was going to say is
Big hold, though.
yeah, 1-1 pair of breadsticks.
So this the PTI matchup here isn't quite as equal here. So Shalmo and Van Buren are
Maybe a sub.
a little bit of having a statistical advantage in this one, according to the great new PTI 2.
How does can I
DraftKings has them at 80%.
can we do a quick PTI conversation? I know Ben's involved in PTI, Andrew, Players Committee on the APTA national side, right? Like, how do we feel PTI, et cetera, all the bullet points, right? How do we feel?
Well, I'm a big fan of it. I think one of the best parts about it is, you know, I helped organize the CPTC, and we were really starting to use this rating to balance the leagues. We want more parity. If we can get everyone, you know, to be 500 and have 7-5, 7-6 matches every week, that'd be the perfect setup for a league organization. So PTI is a huge advantage for that. Other things like team nationals, it helps organize. Like, you know, intermediates, we can start to, you know, get brackets more equivalent for players. So it just helps get better games, more competition for everyone involved.
And I just want to call a quick little timeout before Andrew you jump in. I think as a teaching professional, that's one of the big things that I say. Like, if you're appropriately placed in the league and playing appropriate matches, you should win and lose 50% of your matches. You shouldn't go undefeated. If you're undefeated, you're in the wrong series. If you lose every match, you're in the wrong series. So, you know, John Noble, Alan Graham, Bill O'Brien, right? All the group, they spend so much time on this. But guys, your win-loss record, if you're above 500, you're doing amazing, right? Like, that's the way it should be.
Yeah. I think PTI has been great in the league. One of the things I've noticed the last couple years in my own matches is that, like, during the week, sometimes it can be hard to get up for a league match. You know, you work all day, you got, you know, kids or family or whatever, and you got to drive, and you got, you know, it's late at night. Maybe you're the second match like this, and you know, you're just like, man, I don't know if I want to play tonight. And you're like, oh shoot, like I got to worry about my PTI. Like, it's just like, it's like a backstop, right? It's
Yeah.
like you have to play because
Yeah.
it's like, man, you take a loss, your PTI gets worse, and then the same thing happens the next week, and your PTI gets worse, and then all of a sudden, instead of playing line 2, you're playing line 4, and you're like, oh my God, like, I'm better than this. And that's a total, like, selfish way to think about it, right? But it's just like, it's just another thing that matters besides the team score.
Yep. So real quick, and again, we don't need to get into the total specifics of it, but Ben, to go into it a little deeper, right? The biggest thing is winning and losing, right?
That's right.
And then from there, just give us the general landscape, right, of PTI, right? If you're expected to win, not win, points, game spread, etc., win, lose, what are the big things?
Well, so when you first start out, you kind of have like a new volatility scale. So if you're a new player, things move a lot quicker in one direction. So a win counts more for you, and a loss is bigger than, say, a partner of yours who might have 50 matches. So that after that, it's you and your partner, the combined PTIs versus your opponent's PTI, and then they look at the spread. And the new algorithm now just counts set wins. So winning sets is what it's all about. So if you can still lose a match but win one set. So let's say you go 3, and your PTI can get a bump. But people really shouldn't be worried about the minute changes of your PTI match to match. Almost kind of what Andrew was worrying about. It's not a ranking.
That was an off-air. That was an off-air conversation.
No, that's how I think about it. I feel
Yeah,
it.
so
I feel it.
it's more of just sort of it's where you are in that moment in time.
Yep.
And it's more of a guide to help place you. So, but it is funny to watch how much it has become a ranking and a rating.
I was going to say that I know people in our league that, like, won't play certain matches, or they'll like know what's coming up in the match, and they're
Tiernan
like
wants to
PTI
know names.
focused.
She's already commented on names.
Sasha. He runs a chuck wagon in Wilmette. You know who he is. Come on, guys. It's Sasha.
So good.
Play the match, man. I'm right here anytime.
I want to comment. Let's go back.
I think Andrew called himself out. I mean, he was.
Yeah, he did. He did.
No, I need to. I think about, like, I got to get up for this match. Like,
It's fair. So we got
I've always been joking with Scott Kaler a lot that in the middle of my match, I'm down like set point, and I'm thinking to myself, I gotta get my PTI.
You need the PTI win.
It hits my brain for a second.
win,
I'm like, why are you thinking about your PTI right now? Think about your return.
So he said that to you?
I
said
joked
that.
with him about it.
Yeah,
so
but he said it back to you. Think about your return. He said, think about, because Scott is the one that Robert and I were playing him at Cleveland last year, and set in 5-0, and apparently Scott and Mike said to each other, come on, a couple games for PTI. Come on, a couple games. So I'm just laughing if that's what Scott said.
I think the great part to that is if you think back years ago, right? And Ben, we've been playing a long time in the league. Guys that were so fixated on the score that we could post it online, right? So that was like pre-PTI.
Yeah.
So, we had guys like Fist Pump that are like, you need to win 6-0 every set. Because now that would affect your PTI, where you're like, I got to get it. I got to get that 6-0, 6-1, 6-2 win to cover what would be the PTI spread.
Wow. Went a little high on that drive.
So we're 2-1, 30 all.
30-40.
30-40, did you just get that one? Okay.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say this, the Helms.
40-30, I missed it long.
And Penner at the net, we got the lefty-righty combo.
One motion?
One motion?
Oh.
Would have been close.
Ben and I talk on the phone a lot.
Look close.
I can tell.
They've done a nice job with their lefty-righty switch, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Like, okay.
So do we think those are cords, or are they sweatpants?
They look like those Viore, the tan ones that look like khakis, like an athleisure.
Isn't that the favor for
Jason, we've been
Birchwood
playing
this year?
long enough when
We have
people
been.
wore cords.
Hey, I'm not too proud to say my first Series 1 match.
Are you serious?
Do you want to hear it?
You wore cords?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
No. I played against the McNitts.
Okay.
Lost to a guy wearing cords?
Former
Both of
Illinois
them.
state champions.
Both of them wearing cords. Andrew, guess how many games? Brian Hagman,
Yeah.
we were both assistant pros at Onwencia. How many games do you think we won?
See, I want to say like 6, like 3 and 3. It doesn't sound like it was. Sounds like it was less.
We
than
won
6.
0 games to 2 guys wearing cords.
Just
who
giving the
won how
benefit
many
of the
state
doubt.
titles?
Oh yeah, the McNitt
10?
brothers
8,
ran
10.
hand paddle in the
Yeah.
Chicago area for many years.
Yeah.
Is now the time to plug it? States.
No, but
Yeah. Yes. Everybody should sign up for
2
states
great
and series.
ambassadors of the game.
Yes.
And they really gave back a lot to this league. CPTC Hall of Famers, if we had one.
We should have.
Can
one.
we do that?
We should have
Let's
one.
start one.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
We've got 2 board members right here. Let's do it.
Who's? Oh yeah.
Rod Workman,
Rod Workman's in for
first
sure.
ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously biased, but look, there's been so many great Chicago paddle players. I love the chords throwback.
Dan Williams.
Danny Williams
first
is
ballot.
in for sure. So many great ones. Ben, you lost. Did you play guys in chords? Did you ever lose a guy in chords?
No, I've never lost anyone at chords.
You're not going to do it. I did it. I left it out there. I put it out there. That hurts.
So why do guys do that? They go like this when the ball is going out. They don't want to touch it.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not going to happen.
It's safe.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. I see what you're
It's
saying.
weird. Yeah.
Okay.
Like parting something.
So we got 4-1. Again, which I want to say is that deceiving lead in paddle.
What kind of paddle is Helms using?
Is that a moonshot?
What is that?
Could be a moonshot.
What the?
Cords or corduroy pants? Okay. Quick little timeout. We just got a question in. Cords are corduroy
Great
pants.
volley.
Okay.
Were they the thick cords or the skinny ones?
I think the question is at least one McNitt was wearing a cable knit sweater and the cords, so that's like the double whammy.
So if you're coaching, Jason, would you tell Helms and Penner like when lefty Penner is serving to the ad side just to play Aussie? Wow, what a great shot.
You know,
So you could tell him just do it automatically.
So, great question, and we get this a lot, right? I think, all right, so I'm going to ask you as a player, why would you play Australian?
Because to get the returner out of their rhythm returning, make them hit a different spot or try and get a volley. For
Okay,
yeah.
perfect answer.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, it has nothing to do with a lefty-righty. You play Australian because their best return is the cross-court return.
Until you take away
This
the
is a high lob.
So you play Australian to stop the lob
Okay.
or stop the drive.
So if you're not worried about the drive, they're good. Switch after.
So it doesn't matter to me whether you're a lefty or righty at the start of the point.
Yeah.
Right? You can always switch in the middle or once the point is going on. But the reason you play Australian is not for the lefty-righty switch. It's to stop that drive.
We're really gonna have a good time in this league match next week playing together.
Did you
Gonna
make it
learn a
happen?
lot,
Are
yeah.
the texts already out?
I did, yeah. And I just told him, hey, I'm getting my free paddle lesson. Not paying Jason, no problem. It's all good.
You'll get a bill. You know,
Right? They're like,
I got a wife and 3 kids. You know, like I get how it works. But no, I think look, and it's amazing. Like lefties, unfortunately, I believe in, and Matt standing right there. We talked about this the other day when we were on the court. Lefties, unfortunately, are treated like second-class citizens. Like you have to play the deuce side. You have to stand here. You don't take these overheads, right? You don't do certain things. But I think the reality is the lefty-righty doesn't matter until you're into the point. So you don't start on a certain side. You don't return on a certain side. You pick your return side based on when and what is your best return. So if a lefty's best return is from the ad side on a wide serve, like a Drew Broderick, for example, right? Or a Nunez played the ad side all weekend at the Charities, put him in the ad, right? Let him take that return to Pound Town. Sean loves that term, right? He bought a condo there, I think, last weekend. But I think you don't play a guy in a side because he's a lefty or a righty, okay? Once you get into the point, then you can switch because then you've got certain dynamics that generate offense or defense that how you want it to be.
So, Jason, that was the key sixth game there that they won that you were always talking about. So now
I thought it was 7.
7th technically, but 6 is good too. You know.
you said the 4-1 game.
So 4-1 is that deceiving lead, right?
Okay, yeah, so that-
4-1 and 5-2 are like you think you're just going to run away with it, right?
So now
Yeah. So you're referencing the Brad Gilbert. Sean's here, right? The Brad Gilbert was the 7th game, was his famous thing, was a big deal. But yeah,
I was just saying that 4-2 is a much better spot than 5-1.
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
That and actually the new guy brought up the fact is like this is a must win, right? 4-1. You don't want to say it's a must win, but you win, and the difference there, to your point, Ben, is 5-1 versus 4-2 is a huge difference, right? In how you're approaching this match mentally.
Just given that ad guy too many offensive looks over there, like you were saying, Andrew, you got to isolate him a little bit more, huh? More balls up the middle.
Yeah. More. Oh. The lob.
I love it. We're now getting national shout-outs via text. So again, I just want to reiterate: send your texts in, right?
Yeah.
My cell's posted all over the website. Find it, text it. If you have questions, comments.
You have our number.
We have a question. Yes, cords are corduroy pants. So to clarify again, we need to clarify that. Yeah, Ben, you and I have been playing a long time.
Yeah.
But Andrew didn't know what chords were. I don't think. Did you know what chords were?
No, I knew.
Oh,
it was
okay, it's new guy.
Well,
New
you
guy,
can
yeah.
see them
Yeah.
on because they just look like
But-
what I wear to work.
Andrew still plays in cotton shirts. I can't believe it.
Not
That's-
even
he hasn't gone with
bamboo.
the,
Not even
no.
bamboo
The
cotton.
the performance.
No,
Yeah.
the bamboo, I leave that for my sheets and my bedspreads.
Yeah.
I personally,
drive.
I personally love and look, Chicago, Alan Graham, Bill O'Brien, Pat Layden, John Noble,
First
right?
ballot.
All these guys. Nothing makes me happier than watching a guy play a match in a series or intermediates shirt or hoodie or jacket or sweatshirt with the year on it. I just love it. Like a
yeah.
90s or early 2000s.
Bim Surplus probably has like an 88 that he's still wearing of some sort of giveaway.
I love that. I really love it. So we got Deuce Point here, 4-2. This would be huge, right? And again, to your point, Ben, about you look at the score. The scoreboard does matter, right? And you talk about receipts
What do you think
versus
about that
pictures.
swing, Andrew? Is that a little aggressive?
Yeah, that was a big swing. It's feeling hot, 4-2. It's a bit like that drive that you hit at me in Cabin Fever after my lob hit the back of the line, and then I hit the volley on the tape, no ad point.
Yeah. The bottom of the tape that rolled over.
Took the title after that. I think that was 1-0 in the third. Difference between 2-0 and 1-1.
As much as that one hurt me, I still do think at the high end of the game we need to go to embrace no ad.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So for league matches, what you guys think about that? Because we did it in Baltimore tournament, great thing to do. One-day tournament, great, I get it. Like league matches, I feel like some of the longer matches, Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, it could be a good thing. But some of these,
I
would
agree,
it go,
especially because
could it go too fast?
a lot of clubs now are running into light issues, and nobody
Off by
likes playing that
10:30.
late match where you don't start till 9.
Because
so,
you guys said even like you league used to start at 7, right?
Yeah.
7:30, 7, and now it's like 6:30. Get there at 6:15 if you can, and start if it's going to be a long one.
I think I'm all for shortening the game, and not in the time that you spend out there, but in terms of the scoring and what that means to the time then you spend out there for the game, right? So, like, for example, tennis majors, I'm the same way. Don't play 5 sets, play best of 3. The tennis is going to be more exciting,
Yeah.
So play no ad, or, there are other ways to do it. I'm also, if I was totally in charge, and I'm going to steal this one from Rod Workman, but the scoring system is old, right? Let's find a rally scoring, pickleball, volleyball, different other scoring systems, but it just lends itself to longer matches, to your point.
yeah. the great thing about the APTA Tour this year is there's over 20 events, and everyone's going to have a slightly different format, and we've embraced all sorts of scoring formats.
Love it.
Draw
And,
sizes.
yeah, so we're really going to get a nice variety so people can play the types of tournaments that they want. And it will be hard to convince people that, that an APTA Nationals, when you're playing over three days, that you can't just do regular scoring. But
Fake drive.
Is that what
I think that was a fake drive lob. Yeah, I agree with you, Ben. And look, I'll be the first one to say, and then again, you guys have both been on the players committee. The matches, the days, the tournaments, even these league nights, they're just long, right? Like, why wouldn't we at least look at this and say, let's come up with a different way? Just because it's the way we've always done it doesn't mean it's the way we continue to have to do it.
so I've been playing a little bit of padel lately at my buddy Rudy's place up at Mundelein, and really enjoy the game. But they get one thing very wrong there. They give you 2 serves. So platform definitely gets it right with 1 serve.
You like that?
Oh, I mean, it's a necessity, and I think Padel's missing out doing 2 serves.
Do you think tennis is the same way then?
I don't really have an opinion. I mean, I think tennis is, I love watching
I do for the speed of
the best play a tennis match at the U.S. Open, so it's hard for me to comment on it.
5-2,
But
changeover.
Padel has embraced no ad. They call it the golden point, and once you just start playing it enough, it just becomes natural. You don't even really think about it. And when you first start doing no ad and platform, you're always like, oh, we had 2 no ad points and I lost them both. Eventually, you just stop thinking about it. You lost the big points. It's over.
Did anybody listen to Roger Federer's
speech.
college speech this last spring?
Dartmouth.
Yeah, it was at Dartmouth, right?
Yeah.
And he
Fantastic message, right?
It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. He barely tweaked out 50% of the points won in his career, and he won 22 majors, 23 majors, right? So the point is to your exact comment, Ben, like if you're out there counting points, it's going to be pretty close. So it shouldn't matter how many you play along the way, right? You just got to win those big ones.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
Surprisingly, though, Andrew ran a little survey for the top 100 players in the APTA Tour last year, and overwhelmingly, people were against
Play ad.
no
Have
ad
a bigger
formats.
draw.
Yeah.
No 16 draws, no 24 draws. Like let's open it up and get people playing.
So
Well,
getting
that 4-2 game got away from these guys, so
Yeah.
this is now we're back to 5-2. Feels a little like that first match we watched.
Well, that's
Totally.
the thing,
It's
right?
the
And
same
it's
scoring, right? 4-1, 4-2, 5-2.
And it's
It's
what we were
deceiving.
just talking about is that they're close games, and someone's winning the big points 5 out of 7 times, right? 7 games. It's like, well, there you go.
and that's I actually think Ben knows me well, right?
Watch the
down
line.
the
Andrew
line
says,
drive.
watch
Yeah.
the line.
Oh my god.
Ben knows me well as this empathetic guy, right? Like that's who I am, right? And these guys are going to go home.
Oh, you were serious.
Yeah, no, I was serious, right? These guys are going to go home in the last match as well. You lose the big points. You're like, God, this was the worst night ever. But your 2-3 loss, the point totals were probably within less than 10.
Called it on himself. I mean, that is platform right there for
Yep.
you, right? Gentlemanly game.
You hit the side of the post, you call it.
That was impressive. But a big point, too.
Well, I'll plug Chris Humphreys then, because he's a New Jersey paddle player, top paddle player in New Jersey, and he's gotten the rap for not being super friendly on the court, just kind of and sometimes it's just you're really competing, right? But so I kind of had that feel from him, and I played him at Nationals, 4-2 in the third, 30 all, huge point, up 4-2 in the third. He's right on the net, hits a volley, stops the point, and says, I hit the net, guys.
Wow.
I hit the net. He missed an overhead the next point, 5-2, huge difference. I
Yeah.
would have had no idea.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to Chris.
Big
'cause
set
that was-
point save there. Got a nice
See,
deep
karma
serve.
comes back, right?
Yeah.
Karma comes back to you.
It does. But I would have never called it on myself. Never.
That's the difference.
I'm just
Jason
kidding.
and Chris Humphreys. Yeah, empathetic guy,
I'm
but not
just
so,
kidding. Yeah, just kidding.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
little
look at
lefty
that.
tomahawk off the screen. Oh, I love their. All right, let's get serious and technical for a second. The best thing is, right, they get themselves a little bit out of position, but they pick and stick. They go right back at him. So the guy's in the middle of no man's land, and you put that volley right back at his feet. He forces the error into the net. Now we got an ad point.
Andrew, nice
Smart
lob. You're happy. You love it.
Smart lob. Because you know what he's waiting for? He's waiting for the down up to down the line drive.
There it is.
Just like
Yeah.
that.
You got the better look.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows it too. He knows he's got to make that
He
lob.
wants that one back.
I think so. What is he,
So
30 PTI?
deuce, 5-2. I mean, this is big. So
Good volley. Backhand volley, just like you like, Andrew.
There.
Oh, he just missed it.
Oh, careful of the screen, buddy. You're on camera.
So, well, I think
He was
again.
going to pull a little Tin and Tommy there.
Just bang. It's like, does the screen tell me a tin already hit? I can hit
Oh,
it. No
good
problem.
drive. Look, he went cross court that
Well,
time, Andrew.
those guys don't
did.
really attack the screens anymore. They're going after their heads.
Which is crazy to me. I think that's absurd.
Great tournament for those guys, though. It was
Yeah,
a
great
really
tournament
run.
charities. They made the semis.
They played fantastic.
Super exciting to watch.
God.
Super fun to be on the
Can-
court with them.
Can we just say, and I know how this is going to sound, but it's not fair that they talk in a different language on the court, and nobody else knows what they're saying, right? Similar to Salazar and
Regalado.
yeah, thank you. Like, it's not
Tommy
fair.
and
Well, I
Spain.
understand Spanish, so.
Okay, well, maybe the rest of us don't.
Well, you know, in the Chicago League, like, Sasha and Vuk do it too. They speak
Right,
Serbian.
not fair. Not fair.
So here's a story about
All right, big hold there.
Yeah, it is. I
5-4.
love that. Make them
About-
serve it out.
Jose and Alvi speaking Spanish on the court. So they were just coming up. So last season was their first big season, right? They made the finals and nationals, but they weren't like known at the beginning of the season. They were kind of like mid-seed. No one really knew them. And so we're playing in the final of Baltimore. Noah Seidenberg, the Xenon guy, is watching and listening. And so they kept saying something like over and over, like, I can't remember the word, but it's just a Spanish word. And Noah asked them afterwards. He goes, what were you saying? You know, what were you guys saying? And they were like, we were saying yours. Like
Yeah.
yours. Like you
Yeah.
hit the overhead, you hit the over yours. And Noah thought that they were saying, hit it to Tom Murphy's backhand. like every single one of those overheads, they were like pushing it to the middle to the backhand. They were like, "Were you saying backhand? Is that how you say backhand in Spanish?" It was like they were like pushed to
Waterfall,
the,
Tom
yeah,
Murphy.
waterfall.
Waterfall.
They're like, "No,
Which-
it just meant yours."
Which
It's like,
I don't know that everyone else understands or appreciates the fact that Tom Murphy has no backhand, right?
Yeah.
Like in the booth, we know it. But he's got a huge forehand,
Huge
right? Don't hit
forehand,
it to his
yeah.
forehand. No, what's funny is so they kind of forced my hand to do the post-match interview, right? And I jokingly said to the guys when I go, is there anything I can't ask you? And I said, everyone wants to know what you're saying. And they go, don't ask about that. So obviously there's something going on there that we
Yeah.
are not all aware of,
Exactly.
right? But
yeah.
so this hasn't
Whatever
gone
they're
well.
saying is working.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, they're two of the nicest guys I've met in a long time.
One of the they're two of the nicest guys.
There was a bet made last night that
One of-
they're going to go undefeated. The odds,
Wow.
6-1.
Wow.
Yep. So
Okay.
DraftKings has some action.
Well,
And people are thinking the team that could beat him will be Johan.
Well, that's a great nick to end the
yeah.
set.
So we got a 6-3 set win there by Schaumo and Van Veren in the first set. We're going to be back here after some messages.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
So thanks, Cal. We're back. We're second set. Yep, new guy. Thanks to our
Not your bank's top priority?
Wintrust, Illinois Bone and Joint.
You got cut off.
For real?
What are you doing?
Well, no,
Too many beers in the booth, I think.
you're good. You're good. You're good.
Are we live?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're live. Big thanks to our sponsors, Illinois Bone and Joint, Wintrust and Viking, CPTC live stream. We got the first set here in Court 3, Series 12, Exmoor versus Lakeshore Sport and Fitness. We're getting ready to start the second set. We got Ben McKnight and Andrew Ong in the booth. We got the new guys screwing up all the tech, and Sean providing the humor.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really got
That's a great picture. That's a great picture.
It's coming off of working on my deuce side serve out there tonight.
On the volley machine?
No, just with
Yeah.
Ben.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's why I look high.
So a question.
Look out, Cleveland.
Yeah. So I get this question a lot on the court from players. Deuce side serve is hard, right? What's your
hard.
thoughts on the deuce side serve?
That I need to work on it.
Okay, but what are you working on?
Like softening it. Like I'm just it doesn't feel good to slow down the swing, so I'm just swinging harder and harder and harder, and I'm worried of missing long in the net, so I'm tossing higher. It's becoming more like a tennis serve. It's like just ripping it as hard as I can off the back screen, and I lose the net every single time.
Okay.
Like as it gets colder, it's only going to get harder. You know, right now I'm running into some guys that are like, hey, driving the return off the screen too hard. And so I get to redrive again off the screen and play a little transition and
I
get the
love
net
that.
back. Yeah,
Love
and I
that.
love it too, but it's like it's not sustainable against the top players. Like we're talking about the Spanish guys just now, and you know, to beat them, you need to, you know, it's good to beat the net if you want to be, right? You want to have the option, you know, if you to be where you, and so serving is a good time to, hey, serve and volley, right? And so, you know, just got to soften it up.
So what's interesting, I love the point that you just made in a comment there, and again, kudos to Ben, you know, in the booth, and you and Pete were famous for being counterpunchers, right? And you wanting to stay at the backcourt and play in the baseline, right? What do you like to see when you're talking about being the returner / the backcourt team?
Me serving to the deuce.
Well, what we're working with Andrew, I mean, the deuce serve is very hard, and you're going to lose the net a lot of times. But if you can just put a little more pressure on the returner with mixing it up, the serve, moving it around, changing the paces, you know, you're just mathematically just going to get a few more points. And we were talking about, you know, Roger Federer talking about it's 51-49. You're talking about tiny little percentages in these matches that these guys are winning and losing in these quarterfinal, rounds. So if you can just change the odds a little bit in your favor, one way or another.
Like we were talking like 1 point a game, 1 point a service game, even.
Right.
So like
if you could
say
take
I
the net
serve
one more time,
3 times.
Now you're 60-40 at
Right.
the net.
Say
Right.
I'm serving 3 times and I take the net 3 more times a set. That's 6 more times of being at the net in a match, right?
Right.
And 6 more opportunities to hit overheads, to do, whatever.
And I want to take this opportunity to then translate this to the club level players, right? So to that exact mathematical formula, the point is all you're trying to do is make your life easier as the serving team, right? So we spend a lot of time talking about this, but it doesn't matter about placement, precision, et cetera, all the time. It's that variation. It's finding the rhythm, finding the percentage that you're okay living with that gets you to the net, that you can stay in control and be comfortable, right?
Right. At any level, it comes down to like the quality of your serve and your first volley compared to your opponent's lob/drive offense. And as you play better opponents to have better offense, you need to come up with a better serve and a better volley. as some people have better serves and volleys, you would need to come up with a better return to kind of keep putting pressure on them.
Yep.
So but everyone can work on both aspects of that at any level. You don't have to have Andrew serve and first volley to do it. You can, like these guys, everyone's been struggling to hold a little bit, right? So that it's that drive seems to be a little more effective than people's serves and first volleys.
I'm going to throw back to a name that we actually were speaking about before, Chris Gambino. So a very common practice here on the North Shore is we spend a good amount of time of our men's and women's team practices talking about the big three, right? Serve, return, first volley. And I can remember very early on in my paddle career watching Dave Ohlmuller and Chris Gambino just do nothing but serve, return, volley to each other, cross court, over and over and over again. And they were essentially playing cross court points. But to your point, it's you just need to be comfortable. You need to find a place that you can get the ball back where you're more comfortable and your opponents are more uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, I mean, Volley's come up with an awesome new program now where you can basically serve, and then the volley machine will shoot you a return to make that first volley.
Based off your serve.
Yeah, so
that's
I mean,
crazy.
I really advise people to get out there and practice that.
It feels the ball go by, shoots the ball out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's a national APTA sponsor, but a lot of our Chicago clubs support volley, right? I mean, I'm going to guess right now of our 25 to 30 local North Shore clubs,
And
15 of them
not
have
to
a
pressure Volley, but I mean, they're going to step up with the CPTC too. So we're in the works with them to get some help out, and I think they'll be supporting this stream. And
It's a good mix too. The private clubs, public facilities. Wilmette has one, right? Exmoor here. It's a good mix.
And I'll be the first one of the teaching pros across the country that say, like, wow, this is a bad thing, right? Like, it's going to take time, business, money out of my pocket. I'm going to completely disagree with you. You can go out there and do things wrong every time.
Yeah. Practice the wrong thing, right? It's practice makes permanence, not perfect.
It's right. But what I also think, though, is it gives you another outlet, right, that you can work on something. So, for example, we say, hey, we want you to work on your volley or your return of serve or your lob, and then you can take it to the volley machine and go work on it.
Right. I mean, this is like hitting balls in golf, right? You get you take a golf lesson, and they change your grip, and they talk about your takeaway, and then it's like, hey, you got to go bang balls.
Yeah.
You just can't go to the next lesson.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cal.
He loves that.
I know.
That was
Gets it every time.
Pound Town, Right. So we're at 30 all, 2 love. Again, similar to the first match. Hopefully this doesn't get away from us quickly here.
But for serving advice for everyone at any level, the number one thing I could do to improve your serve is work on depth. If the deeper you can get your serve, the harder it is for them to get the volley, the drive down at your feet where you're volleying below the net level. So just work drawing a line in there, and just if you can get it like a foot within the service line, maybe even a foot and a half, 2 feet. You're going to be pretty effective.
I'll be the first one to admit to cheating to some degree. Like, I love teaching and then playing on the court that I teach on, right? And that service box is a big piece of that, right? Like, you draw the little quadrants, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, whatever. Everybody's got a different thing, right? And you go, God, if I just get it to that box every time, life is going to be okay, But yeah, look, I mean, it's just simple math. The from the net to the baseline is 22 feet.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, again, the deeper you can get the serve, the less scary it's going to be, right? He wants that one back.
It's gotta, right?
Yeah.
That seemed like maybe it was a light issue,
He just blinded him.
Yeah.
Maybe. He just, an ill-advised
playing with
miss.
the lights.
And everyone on court, you're right. It was the lights.
And a good partner would say that, too.
Right.
Like, you got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no sweat. Keep swinging.
And that's where, again, I'm going to go back to my commitment and my point about changing the scoring system. If it was less about the games and more about the points, right, and your total just keeps climbing,
You
et cetera.
think that people would play better?
Yes, absolutely.
Because they would be focusing harder.
on the points.
That matter. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You lose one, who cares? You just win the next one.
Are you
Do you
server's
know
choice?
how hard it'd be to keep score if you just play the points?
Well, we've done it. We've done it, right? With our event that
Yes.
we would do. But the
Yeah.
point is, I just think that the value is on games, not on points.
18
Unfortunately.
to 12.
Yeah. They do it in volleyball, right?
They do.
There's other sports, I'm sure, that do it.
Volleyball points are much quicker, though, no?
I don't know. These points are pretty quick here tonight, but
It's truly amazing in this game, though, how you can totally lose track of the score. You're like,
yes.
we've only played 4 points, and I have no idea what the first one in this game
Then you
was.
Well,
Everyone's like, well, I think you missed a forehand.
I'm like, oh yeah.
as soon as you use the word think, you know I've got you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, well, I think it's 40 love.
Yeah, that's right.
Personally.
Wow, great volley. Dunk. Wow. All right. All right, they gotta convert here, right? They've had like 5 chances.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
So do you think he rips this one instead of lob? The lob hasn't worked. They've lost these long
Yeah,
points.
he's gonna rip
gotta
it.
You
hit
got to
it. He's
drive
ripping.
this ball. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and
hit
the
the
leg
tape.
cord.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the leg
that
cord.
happens.
Well, and look, Mikey, who just left, he was one of the biggest people that through the teaching process, that we used to say the return to serve is the only ball that you know is going to land in the front half of the court. So if you think about playing, right, in a drivable ball, the ball is landing in the front half. This might be the only drive you get the whole match, or for this whole rally and the whole point.
Interesting.
So you should be looking to drive the return
it.
to serve, right?
Yeah.
Now, if they hit a great serve, you're always ready to lob it though too. But the point is you know where it's going.
You know, I'd really like to ask.
Great backhand off the
Albie
screen.
Regalado.
Regalado?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His opinion on the return, because shockingly, the guy has an amazing forehand, and it feels like he can hit it anytime he wants.
Yeah.
But he lobs a very high percentage of his returns.
So I don't know if anybody listened to my post-match interview with them.
Kind of got to decide what he wanted to ask.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
not.
but that was beforehand. But I don't know if anybody listened. But I bet you they said the word discipline 12 times in the minute that I interviewed them.
That's
right?
great.
But they just said repeatedly, we're going to stay disciplined. Our goal is to stay disciplined. We're going to play disciplined.
Wow.
Right? So to your point, Ben, the guy's got a world-class forehand. But he knows I'd rather play a point than lose a point by taking a swing.
Makes you want to go play padel if you know those guys are just going to be so disciplined all day, right? Like shit.
Yeah. Well, I think
Hence
also
the 6-1
Yeah.
odds on undefeated this year.
I'm gonna change the tone of that question, the conversation is for a second, and I would say I think the biggest difference between club players and those top level tour players is club players are unwilling to change the speed of their swing. Meaning they see a drive and they think a drive swing is I'm swinging a driver trying to go 300 yards, as opposed to hitting a flop shot, which should be the same swing speed, right? But they see it as two totally different things.
Yeah.
So they think a lob is slow, they think a drive is fast.
So I think we're 4-0 here, huh?
Meanwhile, you can bump quick lobs too.
Right,
Right.
but they're all the same speed, right? So if you're not changing your speed of your swing and your preparation, the outcome should essentially always be the same.
Yeah.
I think everybody has issues with that. I mean, like Andrew mentioned with his serve, when in a clutch key game when you don't want to fault and pressure's on, it's hard to change pace.
Yeah,
mean-
that's a good point. That's how you know what you're really comfortable with, right? When you
Yeah.
can change the speed. I feel that the only shot backhand off the screen, I feel I can hit it any pace I want and make it in the court, right? Any swing, like you just tell me, I can just do it. But the serve, no.
I think that your control is one of your bigger level differentiators in terms of how you can control your body, right? So if you're going to go red line, your forehand return to serve drive, which we all know those guys, right? But then your lob is a negative swing speed. You know, that's not okay, right?
Yeah.
The closer you can have the needle be for both of those, the better your outcome is going to be for both of those.
I'll look at this drop shot here.
Andrew, who do you think
Love that. Great shot.
at the APTI Tour level who has some of the best change of pace with their forehand, where you're not really sure it's going to be spinny or it's going to be a bullet?
Actually, Ryan Baxter gets me. I don't think he has the best forehand out there, but I think he changes the pace really well. Like, this is what I was kind of telling. They played Regalado and Salazar in the round of 16 at Charities, and I was like telling Mitch Granger, like, let Ryan do his thing. Take the first forehand, bang it as hard as you can at them, hit him, whatever. And like after that, then you have him backed off a little bit. You can hit it hard if you want. You can hit it heavy if you want. You can kind of roll it low, hit it soft, and with the same take back, same swing prep. And I suggested it because he's done it to me a million times, right? I get jumpy after the first one, So
I think that point right there is one of the hardest things to differentiate between this volley, controlling your volley off the differentiating drive speed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Powers is great at it as
Oh,
well.
my
yeah.
God, he's so good.
Really? I've never
Yes.
I
played him.
played him one time, and it was
So good.
He could kind of hit a nice spinny roller or just snap one really hard.
Well, I have a feeling
the
his
same
is.
motion. It's a quick little short swing.
I have a feeling his is maybe better than Ryan Baxter's. I just haven't played him.
Yeah.
But I get a weird feeling.
I had dinner with Tyler.
National champion. Congratulations, Mark.
Yeah. Two-time, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, two-time.
Yeah.
Chicago
Two
and
different
then
partners,
one out west. Yeah.
Amazing.
Both lefties, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
it's a cheat code.
see him do it with a righty.
Yeah.
I had dinner with Tyler Frazier and Eric West last Friday night, and we were talking about that exact thing, about mixing up your drives, roll versus flat and hard. Eric went to peg Regalado and Salazar like 6 times in that semi. But I think that was what it was, right? They're waiting for one speed, they get another, they're not sure what's going to happen, and what happens is people pause, they freeze, and they don't move their feet, right? And then they're not ready for whatever next shot is coming.
I think to a smaller degree it happens with teams too. Like I don't have a great, big hard drive, but I feel like sometimes Robert Steinman hits a huge backhand and then I hit like a little push or like something, and they're like, it's just different to a different speed. Or same thing, like you said, Frazier and West. I was thinking, Eric's ripping the ball and then Tyler just kind of floats it forehand. It's just different, right?
And,
All right, we got a point to get it to 4-2 here, I
this
think.
would be huge for this match if they can get this to 4-2.
That all-important 6th game.
Serve looked out.
What do you mean? If all 4 players agree, right?
Oh,
You and me,
so
we're gonna
good.
get some
It's
fights next
so
weekend on the
good.
court
No, we're
with
gonna be
them.
great.
Yeah.
You and I are gonna be like, no, dude, you just do what you do.
Yeah,
we're
you
gonna
do.
be great.
Miss the lob. Perfect.
Why are you standing? You're making me nervous.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Oh, that's trouble.
That is, yeah. So that would be kind of the equivalent of the Brian Compton putting the spin cycle, right? He got turned around the wrong direction where he
Compton
didn't want to
gets
go.
turned around a lot in the
No,
corner.
Brian puts people in the spin cycle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he gets
Yeah.
turned around a lot by Sasha.
Now you're gonna give Sasha credit. That hurts.
That one's out.
But a good lob over the volleyer's head, right?
Uh-huh.
Kind of that Q4.
Yep. Little miscommunication, you think?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
You had
Well-
to push that overhead straight ahead, right?
Yeah. Well, you have to go middle. So this week, our lob drill for all the teams that I did, right? We were talking about trying to move that overheader, right? And so you move the overheader to the right. Now all of a sudden their target area
Oh, no, get
changes. Good net coverage.
Oh, great. Oh, we had a point there.
I love, again, people are out of position. Instead of hitting it hard, they hit it soft.
Yeah.
Right? Keep it under control.
I always think, like, on the overhead, I always remind myself when you're getting out of position, the extra step back is worth it. You know, it's fine. You're sometimes you're like, man, I just want to hit the overhead where I am and make sure I'm close on the net, right? But it's like, hey, if you take extra step back, take it a little lower, hit it back a little lower, you don't need to close back in as fast. It's totally worth it.
It is one of the things, and again, here I've been lucky, right, to be on the court with a lot of phenomenal players.
He's been lucky to be a little lower to start.
Yeah, I'm short, right?
Sorry.
But I think the best overheaders back up before they hit every shot, so that they're moving forward into every overhead that they hit. Yes.
Peter told me the same thing. Peter Burke. He's like, you hit the best cut, your best cut overheads when you're moving forward. He goes, and it's not just, you know, you hit it better, but also you disguise it better. They can't see you. You're gonna go deep. You're gonna go short. What are you gonna do when you're moving forward? And I always remember that when it's not feeling good.
I think, and I think that part of that comes down to your partner being strong at the net, right? So we talked about it earlier, right? Your partner is there early. They're ready. They're covering off the drives, right? So I'm big on that, kind of two clearly defined roles.
This might be the game of the night right now.
Debriefing?
A little debrief.
Huh?
Got a little live stream action going on.
Yeah,
this
we got
is the game right here. Deuce, 4-1.
It's a great drive.
Wow.
What an awesome drive.
Well, what do we call panel number 2?
I don't know.
I know Sean knows.
No go zone.
That's the panel of death.
Yeah.
You hit it to panel
on either side.
on
or
either
just
side.
okay.
Yeah. It's going to come back as a drive. And the hard part is the net team then can't differentiate between the angle of where it's going to
Gotcha.
go down
We're
the
like
line
at our
across.
6th deuce here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that game everybody wants.
Yeah.
That 6th game.
That looked like my serve. The back screen.
I mean, it got up high on the Exmoor logo, so.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, I love it.
A little sneaky.
You know, it's
looked like Guy Nunez right
yes,
there.
yes. And again, Ben,
Anticipated,
I know
soft hands.
you love that drop shot, right?
I love
mean,
it.
2019 state championship, you sent me a text while on the court, hit more drop shots.
Yeah.
Right? It makes people uncomfortable and it makes them move.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, we got the game.
There
Big
it
one.
is. That was big. So now,
DraftKings line is back
yes.
back to live.
So
There's
now,
hope.
to that conversation, all you hope for is a good game here, right? Like you
Yeah.
don't want to be on the losing end of a fast game.
Yes.
Because it feels like 2.
Well, this is the guy who's serving. He's held once already, so the last game was close.
We good over there, new guy?
Good drive.
I actually really like that overhead. Deep in the court. Make him go back to the screen. It's going to be a lob.
Up.
Whoa, boy.
Beautiful swing there.
Oh, yes, the counter blitz.
He's got it.
There
Dropped
it is.
Another
Again.
key.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good
so
touch.
good. That's one of those, and again, it is a little warmer. It's not super cold, right?
Yeah.
But that counter drive was too hard, a little too hard. Comes back off the screen. They drive it back, and in transition, he takes the net.
What?
Questionable out call?
No.
Or I mean, they were questioning. They were
four.
questioning the
Yeah.
out call.
All 4 agree.
Yes, I wasn't implying that the call was close, but
It was close.
they get that one.
Yeah, that was a little let court winner volley, I think.
You know, my boss at work plays Series 14, Michigan Shores,
No kidding.
and I wish we were calling his match.
Can we do that one
I'd
next
like
week?
to get that in at
Okay.
some point. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Beautiful
Uh-oh.
volley.
Uh-oh.
Looked like it was going to sail and just dropped right in.
I love that deep.
Wait, did they call it?
No, yeah, I
No,
think he
40,
gave it.
50,
There was,
yeah.
Andrew, that was the hands
safe
out.
motion. Yeah, like, what do you mean? If you're gonna do that, just hit it. Like if you're gonna be using your hands,
You could have swung your
just-
paddle, but
yeah.
instead you
what
said
are you
in.
talking about? Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Whoa, that was
Okay.
a crazy overhead.
He
A
kind of
little
went.
reverse spin
He
on it.
kind of went
Yeah.
inverted. Yeah. Yeah.
Kip Reed taught me that shot years ago.
There's the
And I still
drive
do
again.
use it.
Yeah. The infamous Kip Reed,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
So another first ballot Hall
yes,
of Famer.
absolutely. CPTC treasurer.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got Deuce, is that right? Big point, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, these are the points that, again, unfortunately, the game takes all the heavy influence. But, like, this point is a big point.
Yeah, this is a
Was he going for the drive there, or did he just lose it in the lights?
Maybe he lost
like
it in the lights.
yeah.
Might not have
Maybe
been
he
sure.
lost it in the lights.
He has some of those spinning drives that he's been effective
Mm.
with. All right, big hold.
Okay. And you can see some frustration.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you go 4-0 to 4-3. You think this
mean,
match is over.
Right.
Now you're thinking about it. You
We,
wanted to go get that gumball head at the bar, and now you're like, oh man, we're gonna go 3.
You're thinking, God, the food at Exmoor
Yeah.
is so good. I can't wait to get in there.
like, they might be even thinking about PTI, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
To your point, yeah.
yeah.
We're 18-point favorites, and
Now, you're Shalmo and Van Buren. You're just thinking, God, just get these first 2 points of this game, right? If you get a 30-love lead in a game to hold, you're happy.
Andrew's so happy he lobbed the return.
Well, because he got a big screen drive after that. Did you see that? The next shot, he got
100%.
a big screen drive. Me and Alvi are thinking on the same wavelength. You know,
I'm open to change.
I love how you're putting yourself with.
me and Alvi, and
Tyler
Penner.
Frazier?
No, Penner.
Tyler also he'll lob a lot of
He
returns.
does level up. He does, yeah. So again, and here we are. This is a perfect situation for them, right? They win the first set, stopping the bleeding, as you said. 30 love. They're right where they want to be.
Wow.
Great serve. Right
It was
on
a
the
good-
line.
good
depth,
deep serve,
You
yeah.
know.
Gotta be able to pull it
40 love. Oh, no. That's okay. That's all right. And again, I think if you went with rally scoring, you wouldn't care that you faulted there.
because all of a sudden it's 15 to 10. instead of
Right,
15 to
exactly. It
9.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Wow. Got him spinning
big hold.
around. Okay. So they did what they needed to do. They put the pressure on. Easy hold, right?
Looks like a roll serve, and then he just pushes it.
It's a good first volley to get it away from the returner there.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get serious for a second, and I would just ask the viewers, right? Like, what's their plan? Who are they picking on? Which guy, the deuce side or the ad side? Anybody?
I think you're picking on the ad side guy.
Yeah,
He
but we
missed
don't
so
know
many
is the problem.
That's the
Right?
issue. But
You're
I mean,
watching
I
it.
know,
We
I
don't
know.
really know.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, we got to have a plan.
And you kind of have the option with the
Well,
righty-lefty thing, right? You get
yes.
to pick.
So-
you
Yes.
you actually get to pick.
I have a problem with this pick idea because if you're saying, "Oh, we're going to pick on the deuce guy," and then he just forces that ball to the deuce, that ball never should have gone to the deuce.
No.
Right? So it's positional.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hit to the safe spot wherever the safe spot is. A lot of times the spot's going to be to the one or the other person.
Yeah.
right? But depending on the angle of the lob and where everyone's positioned, the safe spot might be to the other guy.
Totally, and I'm actually going to completely agree. And I think the difference being the technical pick and stick from the teaching aspect is it means that you've got 3 of your shoes on the same side of the court that the ball's on. So the point being is they hit 4 consecutive overheads from the deuce side to the ad side, deuce side to the ad side, and nobody moved left or right, right? Like it's like you somehow detached the guys from the foosball table. Right? And everybody stayed on the same side. So I actually don't care which side you go to.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
point is you've got to move to that side of the court that the ball is on. 30 all.
Oh, good lob.
Great lob. Good change up. Andrew likes that.
God, this guy needs to stop.
Oh,
I was just going to say
Two.
he needs to put away the forehand for a little bit because I feel like, to get from 4-0 to 4-3, he missed a bunch of forehands. And
But that's his, my
That's his
dad
game, yeah,
my
you
dad
go.
used to say you got to dance with the girl you came with, right? Sean appreciates that line.
Yeah, that's a good.
I mean, if your forehand drive is your best shot, you
Yeah,
can't
you
put it
keep
away
hitting
at
it.
30 all.
Right.
Oh, I took a swing on match point.
Put it that away at match point.
But that's your shot,
Yeah,
it is.
right?
No,
You're
you
right.
got
If your shot is the forehand drive,
You're right.
You're going to tell Ben to not drive a backhand.
No, I'm not. I'm going to tell him to drive it every single time.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's going to say blitz.
It doesn't. It
All
doesn't
right, here we
but
go.
it doesn't matter.
Blitz again.
It doesn't matter the score, right?
No,
you
I
hit
know.
the shot,
Yeah.
regardless of the score.
Bondo's going to say 3. And he's going
Oh, beautiful.
to go get
That's
it for
Scott
you.
Bondurant.
There's a great example of changing the pace. He
Yes.
just took a little of the pace off there and just died in. Another match point.
Is this the third? Second.
Two.
Thank you, Cal.
2. Good lob. Got the lefty switching.
They've done well with the lefty switch tonight.
Yeah, it's been pretty seamless. They've maybe played together, I'd say.
A few
4.
times.
Wow. No effort on that lob. He just lifts it.
When I play with a lefty, a lot of times I don't like the switch, so I'll go in Australian, just kind of get the switch started right away.
And we were talking about that before, right? And again, you can go that route, right?
Now, we don't like that one. Now it seemed a little forced, huh?
No, I thought it was good. I just thought he hit it like Mach 10.
Yep, it was fast. It was hard.
Like maybe caught a little seams.
It did seem to catch a little seam. I agree with that. So we got deuce point, 3-5 serving. Oh, there's your down the line lob. But
almost
again,
hit it.
there's
You
your
wanna-
shot,
yeah,
right?
You gotta hit it. You
It's
gotta
his
hit
hit.
it.
It's your shot.
It's his shot. Yeah.
You got to stick with what you got.
Dance with the girl you came with.
You like that one. So we got match point number 3. Is that right, Cal? Oh,
That's
and there
it.
it is.
Oh, he hates it.
But
Look
it
at
was
that.
drive.
It
There
was. It was a
Great
drive.
win
So
by
good.
Exmoor.
Switch spot.
See why they're the defending champs.
So that concludes our live stream tonight. Big thank you to Ben McKnight, Andrew Ong for jumping in on the mic with us.
Thank you for having us.
Couple
See you.
plugs.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So all the junior paddle players out there, the CPTC is hosting their next junior tournament November 16th. It's Saturday, 12 to 3 for the 10U and 12U boys and girls divisions, 3 to 6, 15U, 18U, hosted by Indian Hill Club and the Michigan Shores Club. So get on the APTA website, sign up. All levels are welcome.
Rally scoring.
It's
I wish. I wish.
It's round robin.
Yeah.
You quickly find players that are your equivalent.
Great event.
Kids
They
have
get a sweatshirt and pizza, right?
hat and pizza.
Hat and pizza. Sorry. Thank you. But no, great event. Love that. Thank you, Ben. Check. You can find all this stuff online. Thank you to our sponsors, Wintrust, Illinois Bone and Joint, and Viking. CPTC live stream, week 7. Oh, and Volley. Also Volley. We're putting a plug into them as well. Thank you. That's it. Where are we next week? We don't know. Stay tuned.
Hopefully, the Andrew Jason show. I mean, let's get that.
Thursday. Oh, yeah.
Talk
Did
about
you get the match done?
Yeah.
I think we got to make that happen.
Talk about due side
Yeah.
serving and, Sasha, and it'll be great.
Oh, pressure.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, We know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still